family. Welcome back to an episode of the No Horse Around podcast. As always, I am one of two dudes talking Colts and one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. And as always, we are brought to you by our amazing sponsor, WagerWire. WagerWire is a revolutionary, one-of-a-kind sports betting app. Allows you to get in and out of your bets right up to the moment the game starts. Coolest feature, I think, is in and out of your parlays before they bust, which is an amazing thing. If you've been there and you've had like three things hit and you got to get that fourth, you can get out of it with WagerWire. Make sure you go to the website, wagerwire.com, drop in your email address. The app is coming very, very soon. And make sure you go over and follow them on Twitter at WagerWire and check out their Twitter spaces, which are by fans for fans. So I'm going to continue. So I had a lovely video that I did about a week ago titled Just Shut Up to the Titans fans. Because living in Tennessee, it's all I heard. I got a lot of feedback from Titans fans on that video. I want to do it again, but I'm going to do it with a different fan base today. Instead of saying just shut up Titans fans, I am going to say pipe down Jaguars. So the Jaguars went 9-8 last year, and suddenly they think that they are the New England Patriots, right? Now, I know we didn't have a good season. We did not. We had a historically bad season. But let's not get this twisted around and think that the Jaguars are some kind of world-beating team, right? So going in to week 14, the Jaguars were 4-8. They needed a 5-game winning streak, including a win in overtime against the Cowboys, a 4-point win to close out the season against said Titans to get to 9-8 and make the playoffs. Now, why am I pooping on the Jaguars? Why am I pooping on kind of like their parade, right? Like, why am I picking on them? Because they walk around right now. They are walking around beating their chest like they are the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots. They are the best team in the division. And that's probably not too far outside the realm, but best in the division at 9-8 does not like equate to when the Titans were the number one seed a few years ago, when the Colts would go 14-2 or 13-3. It's just not the same. Now, do they have a good team? I think they have a young emerging quarterback. Y'all have heard me say too, like my thing, this is why I say like, just wait. Just wait.
2,000 years later.
Because the thing with it is that the Jaguars have a historic background of being a dumpster fire. And I don't know if they're through that. I gave them much credit, and like I will give credit where credit is due. We can't beat them in Jacksonville. Now, they can't beat us in Indy. And one of their best seasons in how long? And when I say that, like I want to clarify, when I'm talking about this was one of their best seasons in years. This is their best season at 9-8 since they won 10 games in 2017. 10. They have an overall record as a team, right? As a team in an organization of 189 and 261. It's crazy to think that you're going to beat your chest over 9-8, which, hey, I mean, when you don't make the playoffs, congratulations. You did well. You made the playoffs. I've said when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, and I've reared it back a little bit, I have said that I don't know if how good he can be will overcome how dysfunctional the Jaguars are. Year one, I was proven correct because the dumpster fire that was them, the dysfunction that was them, hired Urban Meyer. Now, they hired a good coach. Doug Peterson is a solid coach. Now, can he overcome the dysfunction? Because they have had semi-solid coaches in the past. You've had a Tom Coughlin in the very beginning, and they were really good in the very beginning, right? You've had a Jack Del Rio who had some success down there, right? And you have Doug Peterson. You've had some decent coaches who cannot overcome the dysfunction of that organization, the inability to get out of their own way. I mean, when you look at it, they have had what I mean, it blows my mind, right? Like they have had since 1995, They have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 losing seasons. 18 losing seasons. And even though we can't beat them in Jacksonville, they have a 27. We have a 27-17 record against them. Now, like I said, they do have some young talent. They do have some emerging talent. You got Christian Kirk. You got Evan Ingram went back. I think he had a really solid year last year. They have Trevor Lawrence, obviously. They have a young, fast, aggressive defense. But yet again, I say to the Jaguar fans, pipe down, or in the other words,
Shut up!
and that's mainly because you're talking a lot, man, for someone who has 18 losing seasons and had your first winning season since 2017. Yes, you have a quarterback who had a good season. Baker Mayfield had a good season in Cleveland, right? Jared Goff had a good season in LA. They shipped him off. Carson Wentz had a good season with the Eagles. He's gone. He's not in the league anymore. Plenty of people have good seasons. Can you string it together? You have the hype this season. Everyone's looking at you as you are the crown jewel of the AFC South. But yet again, I say, pipe down, because you're not on the level of these other teams yet. Even as I said, shut up to the Titans fans last week. The Titans fans had won 2 consecutive AFC South titles. They had a handful of them too. Now, no one in the AFC South, and you guys can come at me in the comments if you want, are on the level with the history of the Colts in the AFC South. It's catch up. You got to play catch up at this point. But to pound your chest at 9-8, man, y'all better take a step this season. Because here's the thing. Everybody else got a hell of a lot younger outside the Titans who didn't. But, CJ Stroud's in the division. Anthony Richardson's in the division. You got young, dynamic coaches who are in the division now too, right? You got Shane Steichen. You got, wow, why am I completely spacing on D'Amico Ryans? D'Amico Ryans is in the division. And you have a really talented head coach in Mike Vrabel in the division too. Yet again, I just say pipe down, man. Y'all, there's so much noise coming out for someone who didn't do much of anything last year. And truthfully, as we look over it too, I mean, it took every bit of that. And then you go to, you're playing at home against the Chargers. And Trevor Lawrence, who you guys talk a big game about, yes, he had a great comeback, but man, he threw 4 picks in the first half. I don't know if he's what you would call there yet, if he is the guy. I mean, when you look at his progression over the last couple of years, I mean, he has. Everyone's going to redshirt his first year because of Urban Meyer. 12 touchdowns, 17 picks. Last year, 25-8, 4,100 yards. He looked good. 9-8 as a starter, 66% completion percentage. Now, he had 12 fumbles, and he lost 9 of them. I mean, it's impressive. You're on the right track, but man, I would just slow my roll in being so stinking loud about how great you are, how you own everybody. You don't, man. When you start looking over the records in the division alone, it's not strong. It is not a strong history against the division. I mean, just when you just start looking and you really do start digging in, you guys are like, man, Steven's being really harsh on the Jaguars. I mean, and rightfully so. I probably am. I mean, Travis Etienne had 1,100 yards last year. Christian Kirk had 1,100 yards. I mean, they showed progress, but progress can be stalled if you don't have the right backing, right? But you start looking and you start trying to say that you own this division now. Man, I'm going to tell you that it's not that case. I mean, you start looking around inside the division, right? Houston, you're 14-28 against them. You're 17-27 against us. And against the Titans, you are 23-34. That's not strong, man. It's not. So I say it again, and I'll say it till you prove me wrong. Pipe down, Jaguars. So I want to hear what you guys have to think. Am I being too harsh on the Jaguars? Am I being too harsh on Trevor Lawrence and them? Do you think they are the class of the division? And I'm not saying that they're not this season, but they're talking a big talk. And all this is going to come to a head week 1, right? It's going to come to a head week 1 when the Colts play the Jaguars. So, I mean, let me know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Am I being too harsh? Am I being too loud? Am I on point? Am I correct? Do you want to see the Jaguars just pipe down and shut up? As always, you guys, we were so thankful for you guys watching the videos. Hit the subscribe button, slap the bell, become a member, drop some spare change in the tip jar if you feel like it. Make sure Zach's going to be back this week. Make sure you guys jump into the live stream. You guys will see that. That's going to be Thursday night at 8:15 Central, 9:15 Eastern. We're excited. We're pumped. We're going into a dead period, so we're going to talk a little bit of trash between now and then. As always, you guys, I love you. I know Zach loves you. I hate him. I know Zach hates him. Talking about the Jaguars. I'm out.